2, 1, 0.
Walk to me, walk to me.
Is the unanimous MVP.
Walk to me.
I want to give you flowers and tell you that I'm proud of you.
Walk to me. That shit look good. Now, where should I start?
Obama.
Man, first of all, let me just take this opportunity, man, to tell you thank you, man. You know, both of us being from Baltimore, it's been a long time since I actually seen you in person, man, but I want to give you flowers and tell you that I'm proud of you. Not only do you represent the city well, you represent yourself well. And, you know, if I didn't tell you before, I want to tell you now, thank you. Thank you, man. You know, it means so much to me, you know, when I do these interviews, to be organic and authentic, you know, and a lot of times, oftentimes, people come to you someone else. You have been yourself since the day I met you. Mm-hmm. Tell me, who is Raekwon Hudson? Before Shordie Shordie, who is Raekwon Hudson?
I was a badass kid, badass kid from Baltimore.
Born and raised in Baltimore your whole
Baltimore.
life. What part of Baltimore are you from?
Northeast.
Northeast?
Yeah.
So you went through those inescapable circumstances, like, because East Baltimore a little different. Northeast to me got some county in them, right?
Yeah.
And East Baltimore got that grit, and then West Baltimore got that grit. But for some reason, Northeast remind me of a county. Yeah. So how can a kid get in trouble and be bad in Northeast Baltimore compared to East Baltimore and West Baltimore?
I don't really think it was back then, for sure, it wasn't really like a territorial situation.
Right.
We was just, Baltimore was Baltimore, and it was just us. You feel me? And when we on that 19, we on that borderline, that 19 up there by Northern. When we up there, it's like, it's the same thing. We got the city police, we got everything. It's all the same thing for real, you feel me? So, I don't know, that culture.
No, I guess to me, you know, because you went to a few schools in Baltimore. I think you went to Maryville, you went to Lake, you know, you went to Harbor City. So you've been in the system, you know, school system, you know. Was it because of disciplinary actions or you moved? What made you go to so many different schools?
Disciplinary actions.
Disciplinary action. What was your favorite one out of the three?
Of the schools?
Yeah.
Maryville.
Yeah, because, you know, I'm a day older than you, but we used to go to school for girls. And that's how you got your name in the hallways, in the cafeteria. What was it like for you growing up, going to school in Northeast Baltimore, and during the time you was going to school, because you 29 years old, I think a lot of things were prevalent with social media just coming, or not necessarily coming into fruition, but it was basically like people were noticeably known from their handles, right? You know, and I think 15 years ago, when you was in high school, you know, what was it like?
I don't know. I enjoyed that shit though. I was more like you said. I was more on the women, so that ended up make me have a baby by 17 for real. But I was more on the women for real aspect of things, and you know, that gets you pumped up to do some other shit, and then that.
So you had a child. You had a child at a young age. At 17? Yeah. What was it like being a teenage parent? Was it pressure? Was it stress?
Yeah, from here, at that time, I was living a different way. I felt, personally, I was living so rough that I was better off not being around my shorty. You feel me? When really, it was like ass backwards for real. It's like, why not leave that alone and be around shorty for real? You feel me? So it's like, I had to weigh my odds.
Did his mom understand? Because sometimes, you know, when you co-parent, people look at it, well, y'all, he a deadbeat because he not being around. And I could understand what you were saying.
Nah, she still be hitting me with that these days for real. Like, you wasn't around at these times. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. But I was reprogramming myself to be this person that I am today for real. You feel me? To the point where now I got shorty. Like, I can have shorty. Like,
what type of relationship do you have? A boy or a girl?
My first one was son.
What type of relationship y'all have now?
Me and my baby mother.
Your son?
Oh, me and my son, great.
Great.
You feel me? Yeah, great, man.
What type of relationship did you have with your father?
I ain't had no relationship.
And
I couldn't really have that opportunity.
Right. So did you see why it was important to be in your son's life because of your father not being in your life? Because a lot of times we don't unlearn behavior. We perpetuate it, you know, and we do what was done to us instead of breaking the cycle, you know. And sometimes things are inexcusable and inescapable. Growing up in Baltimore, I can relate to both. You having a kid at such a young age, it puts you on go. You gotta take care of your child, you gotta take care of yourself. But then you decide, you know what, let me just stay away from him until I get myself together, you know, and I mean, to each his own. But do you think the Raekwon now will make a different decision than he did at 17?
Nah, I take it all, Stoke.
Take it all?
I take it all. I don't never like to change nothing. I look at it like everything's supposed to happen.
For a reason.
You feel me? Ain't nothing ironic, ain't no coincidence. That's what it is. And that's just how it is for real. How you work it out in your mind on why is on you. But that's just, you know. Is
that because of your faith? Is that because of religion, theology? What makes you think that everything happens for a reason and it's gonna work itself out?
I grew up with Islamic beliefs, for real. So, you feel me? My mother had me like that as a young kid, maybe to have me healthy. And now I'm a lot healthier than my peers, for real, too,
right.
For real. So, it did bring me up. And it made me kind of like strong.
Strong.
You feel me?
Growing up in Northeast Baltimore, for those who don't know, what was Baltimore like back then? Because I have a different testament because I'm a little older, but what was Baltimore like growing up to make you frame some of your decisions? You know, I know you had a child at a young age, and we never talked about the things you was doing because you wasn't in your son's life, and we'll talk about that too, but what was Baltimore like?
I remember 2012, it was 10th grade, we won that championship. We was wild, man. We was so wild young niggas. Like, we was out of pocket, man. I was 10th grade. That was like the high ranking of, I don't really know, us stealing phones or technology. Like,
right.
When technology at first came out, we didn't really understand it for real. We didn't even really care for it. We were so social. We like, shit, we'd make some money for it. You feel me?
Right.
So it was more of, I guess, us getting some money. Like,
in
Baltimore, you grow up so old down there.
So fast?
Yeah.
And so old, yeah. What were some of your decisions that you made? Because a lot of people, some grew up off of love, some of them grew up off survival. Just based on your testament, what was life growing up like that made you make some decisions? Because, I mean, I know your dad wasn't there. What type of relationship did you have with your mom?
Nah, that's a beautiful woman right there. She made me the person I am today. Rough as shit, you feel me? Without Shordie being around, she made me who I am today, a man. You feel me? I'm able to take care of my responsibilities. Like, I be having to thank her sometimes, for real. Because I ain't graduate.
Right.
I ain't graduate high school. But right. I got plaques on my wall. I got plaques on her, too.
Right.
You feel me? So, in a way, I made it in ways that niggas didn't. So I look at it like I dropped out with 17 credits. I'm smart. I'm too smart for this shit. Like, right. And at that time, man, I'm thinking like, I'm not telling no kid to not get the diploma.
Right.
But at that point, I'm mentally and street smart. I'm like, man, I'm good. I had a shorty at that time. I'm like, man, I'm good. You feel me? I can go ahead and make my own way. And I had that much of a drive to do who I am today.
Right. So, and this is even before the music. And there are a plethora of people who don't get educated, you know, whether they are socially declined or financially, you know, not even able to afford a further education. Mm-hmm. Do you ever see yourself going back to school, whether it be college or to further your education, to maybe assist you in your future business endeavors? Because they always say, if you don't know something or you can't invest in something that you know nothing about, right? And you've been blessed. You know, your career, you know, is going the way it's supposed to go. Like you said earlier, mm-hmm. You know, Allah has blessed you with a long, healthy, successful career, you know, and I think that it's a testament to your hard work and dedication to your craft. Outside of that, we always want something to fall back on. So do you see yourself maybe saying, you know what, I'm going to learn this because I didn't learn it then, or what I didn't learn then I can learn now to help me further, you know, my business endeavors?
That's crazy because I did kind of turn over to wanting to, self-educate myself.
Right.
Try to. But that shit don't work. So I really,
Right.
for real. So I really had to really, like you said, I'm gonna have to really take my time out and really go back to school in some type of way. Do something that got something to do with sharpening me again, though.
Right.
It ain't even really got nothing to do with school. Like,
No, it
I
don't.
feel like the shit that they put in my face, I already knew. I just need to be sharpened real quick. Because it's been a minute since I've been around that.
It's so ironic you say that because, you know, even at my age, I went back to college because I wanted to start a new business in sports management. And I knew that if I was able to be, you know, in people's lives, I wanted to be qualified to have that conversation with someone's child.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the classroom with kids 18 years old, like, man, you know, some things you unlearn, some things you got to learn over, right? And I understand exactly what you're talking about because sometimes I look at my education, the streets is really responsible for, and the law, why I'm here today. You know what I mean? Because what I learned in school wouldn't help me survive. And, you know, you got people who was raised off love. You got those like us raised off survival. Our survival skill set gets us where we are. I seen Bernard Hopkins say something yesterday that people that went to Yale, Stanford, and Harvard, they can't survive where we from, but we can survive from where they're from, right? But then, you know, Jay-Z said one time to me, there's some rooms, Stoke, you can't get in. And there are places I can't go no more. But together we can make a powerful, you know, powerful team. So sometimes you need both, you know what I'm saying? And I understand that too. Now, as Raekwon, you know, twirling his way through Baltimore City, trying to find his way, you got a 17-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got a severed relationship with your child mom. Where did you see yourself going? Like, what was your future looking like at 17?
I really didn't have one. I had Trays, and long live my brother. I had Trays, and he was like, "You gotta do something, cuz like you just gotta do something," and that's just a money getter. So like, you know, from my city, you got the money getters, and then you got, you feel me, the niggas that's just going to destruct everything, and I get that for real, right? You feel me? So I'm more on the destructing path. You feel like, let's be more on the foundation, building. Like you be burning a lot of bridges and shit like that. And I'm like, all right, say no more. And I try to vibe with him at first, and it felt controlling. But man, as who I am today, I ain't got no other choice but to thank him. Like Shordie really pushed me to believe in something else other than
what she was doing.
them
Do
trenches.
you have any sisters and brothers, like, you know, any in-house and camaraderie? Any sisters or no brothers? You the only child?
Nah, all siblings, dog. I had siblings, all cousins and shit in my house, but I'm only child.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know that, you know, and, you know, sometimes when people are the only child, they get spoiled, you know, and the mom or the dad, you know, like they overprotect because that's all they had, you know what I'm saying?
It was to a certain extent, till the niggas start smoking and all that shit. Because the niggas smoking, it's like, yeah, shit, no loud stuff, that ain't going no weed, you feel me? It's cool to a point where I was a kid, and she treated me for it. I had a beautiful kid. And dog, I wanted to do my own type of things, and as being a male, she can't teach me
how to be a man.
These things.
Right.
So I teach myself. And I got older siblings, older cousins to learn off their mistakes and shit like that too. These niggas going out the road.
You spoke about a championship in high school. Did you play sports?
Yeah.
What sport did you play?
Football.
Football?
I did wrestling too. Yeah.
Oh, you did wrestling too? Yeah. And a lot of people, when they don't make it, as Biggie say, with a crooked jump shot or selling crack rock, you know what I'm saying? One of those two things. But you made it in music, you know. And now as we go a little further, I met you less than 10 years ago, and it was about a community initiative. And you was part of a group of guys who I thought, man, was so humble and respectful, assisting me with giving back to my community. Is that something that you always wanted to do, or it just happenstance? Because some of us don't tell people what's in our heart, we show them. And at that time, you showed me what was in your heart because you was giving back to the kids.
Partly, yeah, me, because I want to do. That's just me on a regular. But partly Trey's telling me how to be a good nigga, and then showing a nigga that he can be a good nigga.
Right.
You feel me? So as I feel that and be like, damn, as I get older, I don't have to shame out being a good nigga. Like, I really used to get older and used to be like, I don't have to be no good nigga. Like, I gotta be worse. And it's like, fuck no. Bro telling me, like, yo, you can do these things and it can still benefit you, your soul. I'm like, let's try it.
So
Take me over there. Yeah. That was my first time over there.
For real? Yeah.
Over there.
So you played football, you wrestled. When did you start rapping?
Son. Like, round like, when I had my son.
At 17, around 17?
Probably be around that time, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
she was pregnant type shit.
was you always, because I remember you was in a group.
Mm-hmm.
And I never remember you as, being a solo artist until after, things transpired, in your life and you went in a different direction. When did you become a part of the group, the name, and how did that happen?
The group was us. That's family. Like, we always around each other, like, high school, middle school, since we was kids. Like, so that's some family. Like, Peso the Mafia, that's a family situation. You know what I mean? Can't really speak on, like, how things transpired.
Right.
But that's family. That's family.
So all y'all still got a good relationship today?
Yeah, that's family.
Good.
We might not be saying eye to eye, but
that happens.
Ain't no bad blood.
Good. You decided to go, and I don't know when you did it, in your own direction, become I guess a solo artist.
Mm.
Did you have vision? Did you have faith or hunger? What made you say, you know what, I still want to do this despite the fact that we're no longer a group and I can make it? Because, and from Baltimore.
I was fucked up. So,
man.
At that time, like, hella depressed, hella down, hella just, like, I feel like, how you go back to school, they be like, you need 5 years. What you gonna do in the next 5 years, right? You need 2 years to, like, figure shit out. That next third year, it's gonna be like, shit gonna start getting smooth. And then them next 2 years, shit gonna, like, start going this way. You know what I mean? So that's why I've kind of synced into 5 years. I'm like, damn, that kind of worked for real when a person asks you that, because you really have to struggle first. Like, you really gotta struggle first. So at the time, I struggled.
Okay, when you made the transition to become a successful sort of artist, honestly, did you ever see it? Because the reason why I asked you that, I'm from Baltimore. I've been in the music business. Music is so universal. But Baltimore always either get ignored or denied. And you're one of the most successful people, not only in my generation, but in the history of Baltimore, to make it to a level where as though people all over the world know who you is. How does that make you feel?
I do it for the city. I fully understood where I came from, type of person I was, what pavement I was just on, you feel me? And we might be rough, it might be like, how should you say, misguided,
right,
or can't really see, you know what I mean? But I know there's certain people that can. So, like, out of the bunch, we'll look at it like it's a bad place, but it's good inside of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I really kind of want to look at the good of us.
And, that's a true thing, but the fact remains that, me and you both can look at how many people we done lost over the last 10 years in the streets of Baltimore because of the lifestyle or the culture. And, you look at how Shordie Shordie has transcended his life, his future, his career in a very positive way. You're one of the only people who can say that they done touched different territories with their career. You got people from Baltimore who love making music, but to be honest, unless some things change, they probably don't get the opportunities you have, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you rep Baltimore the same way I do, with our heart, our soul, and our mind. But being from Baltimore, being discouraged, what kept you hungry? Was it the stardom, or was it something else to say, you know what, man, I gotta do this for myself, my family, and my city? Because sometimes
that was most of it. Like, you gotta make a non-believer a believer. That was my whole point, like making a non-believer a believer, and And why not me? Why not me to be the messenger? Right. I'm not saying I'm gonna reach the highest points of life for real, but I was the nigga to make that milestone. You feel me though, Stoke? Like,
and you know,
I take that.
I would be lying to you if I told you I saw it, because oftentimes people go and do the same thing everybody else doing. They want to rap alike, look alike, dress alike, get the same jewelry. Shordie Shordie did something that wasn't done. I'm like, whoa, he over in this lane over here. This is smart. And I should tell people not to talk about race or class or culture, but I understood what you was doing because I was playing in that space during that time when I was managing certain artists. Mm-hmm. And I know for a fact that people was going to my son's shows to look good. They go to your shows to feel good. Mm-hmm. And that's where the money was at. And I understood exactly what you was doing, and I knew why you left, you know, to chase your dreams. And, you know, and being from, you know, again, from Baltimore, looking at things from a distance, you can tell what's working and what's not, because you ain't brought your ass back.
And
you know what I'm saying?
I'm a full out, and then I'm like an outlaw though. When I go other places, I feel like, yo, I'm not the same. Like, I'm not like niggas. I'm hella angry. I'm hella standoffish. I'm ready to get back to BWI, and that ain't cool. That ain't cool. It just ain't cool. I was treating people crazy. I was high as hell because I didn't really know how to deal with all the
success and things coming,
people and all that. Yeah,
that happens to people, and I understand that in the industry is normalized because people take drugs and things to fight the pain, or either try to block out the noise.
Yeah,
and they normally turn to drugs or alcohol, sex, or violence, whatever it may be. But I always tell people, even my children, some things are in you. It takes certain triggers to bring it out, right?
Yeah.
You know, and when you're in a life-changing situation such as yourself, and you're in total different demographics, you know, you in areas with people who don't really know you for who you is and don't know what you've been through, it makes you kind of angry because you feel like, you know what, they playing with me, right?
Yeah.
But how did the music, you think about changing or saving your life during the time when you really started doing good? Because you had a decision, like you said, I could go back to BWI, or I'm gonna stay out here and deal with this noise.
Tired of being an outlaw though. Like, tired of being an outlaw though. So the rest of the world ain't like us. Right. Niggas need to chill out. Right. And that's just a message from the kid, because I move around with this shit.
Right.
And not move around with the whole city. And I don't take that from nobody, but I don't move around with the whole city. I move around with me and my peers. So to understand, we gotta chill out. We have to chill out. It's certain shit that we can do every day here that I be like, yo, niggas can't do that shit in Vegas. Right. Y'all can't do none of that shit.
Right.
Oh, y'all don't ride no bikes? Niggas don't ride no bikes.
Yeah, Baltimore has a culture, man, unlike nowhere else I've seen. And I tell people all the time, man, growing up in Baltimore, we was always told to be a doctor, a lawyer. And to your point earlier, that narrative has been shifted and denied because we have been, successful entrepreneurs, And I think about when you follow behind somebody, who, if anybody, that you want to be like growing up? Because when you think about where you are now, sometimes you sit back and say, you know what? He's still doing it the way I thought he was doing it before I got it. The person you looked up to.
At that time?
Right.
When rapping, right?
Anybody that influenced your life?
It was Scooter and G-Rock.
Wow.
It was them two. It's like, when coming up at that time, I was, 9th grade, 10th grade, moving around at that time. It was them two. But I'm trying to find, in my mind, how can I be different from these two niggas? But I gotta still be unique. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard. I'm listening to these niggas every day to find out, all right, G-Rock got his own way. Scooter got his own way. How can Short Doug fit himself in there and have his own way? Singing. Don't nobody sing. Nobody use their voice. And then I got a voice already like this, and I'm walking around singing Rich Homie Quan and Fatty Wap. My homeboy's like, nigga, you can sing that? nigga, sing your own songs. Make your own songs. And then they made me believe in that more than I did. I didn't believe in that shit until they started playing this music and that music. They like, yo, play this song. And I'm like, I don't even know what you playing, cuz.
Right.
He like, yo, you got to pay attention to your music. You got to get it. I'm like, all right, let me take this shit serious. Because they taking it more serious than me.
How did you feel when we lost Scooter and G-Rock? Was you discouraged? You know, did you say, man, damn, like, you know, now the individual I looked up to or wanted to be like are no longer here. Like, what am I do next?
That G-Rock shit, I was young. I wasn't really around.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was still in high school, like fully in like junior high, like young nigga. Feel me? Scooter, it was with him that day, you know, at Morgan.
We was there.
You feel me? Yeah, you feel me? So it kind of hit different, like, you feel me? So when it take me back to what I just said to you, like, how can I not look at the bad that they will do to us when it's good? But in all actuality, I done been around this whole little cycle of niggas just taking, this is what they say, the greatest people in our city, but you only give him them flowers because pass.
It's deceased.
Like, don't, let's like,
Yeah.
that's a Baltimore thing. Let's just not like, you know what I mean, Stoke, like.
You know, it's the truth in everything that you just spoke about because, you know, I believe in learned and taught behavior, and ironically, we don't really see a lot of successful people leave Baltimore, you know, and when they down the streets, and we normalize it because it happens, so it's so prevalent. You know, you being outside of Baltimore looking in, if you could change one thing about the city to give people hope, what would it be? Because you got to see what I see. Like, I say, damn, if I feel responsible sometimes because I feel like the things I've done, if I would have been doing what I do now, then maybe people would be trying to go to law school or, you know, or be an electrician. But, you know, everybody wanted to survive off the streets because that's what they saw. So in my own words, if I could give someone some advice on what to do different, or my 17-year-old self, it was no matter how dull or boring it is, stay on the right path because that's way more beneficial than on the wrong path.
I feel like whatever circle I was in, Stoke, I was a leader. You know what I mean?
Right.
Chose to lead the pack. You know what I mean? So regardless of what I did, football, music, whatever I chose to take serious, I was going to lead. You know what I mean? Streets, whatever the case may have been, I was going to take serious and I was going to try to lead or play the two-man. I'm going to play second base. And I'm going to love second base, too. If I play second base, I'm going to enjoy second base. I'm going to play the shit out of it. I'm going to always watch second base. I'm never going nowhere else. But how everything unfolded, life for us in Baltimore made it a, like you say, an entrepreneur thing.
Right.
That was a golden thing for us, being an entrepreneur. I don't want to do nothing else. I want to be an entrepreneur. When I found out what they was doing with fish scales from elementary school, I was taking them from the school because it was gone. All of it. They were like, I'm like, what? The teacher like, where's these weights going? Where's the fish scales? Where's they going at? Yeah,
Right.
I'm taking them home. My older niggas like, yo, we'll pay for them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
to learn about this in elementary, you feel me? It's kind of like, what I say, fun? Though
Right.
it's not fun though. It's not fun though. You feel me? I don't really know though. If I'd have knew now, look, all these niggas want to be rappers. I love these
and that's what I
little
always
niggas.
say, man. Like, you know, I go places in Baltimore, and because of my son, people think I'm responsible for, you know, his career. You know, and all I ever want to do was give him business advice because I didn't want him to be in a situation where as though he was ill-informed or ill-advised and somebody took advantage of him. I thought that was my obligatory duty to make sure that part was good. When you travel the world and people know you're from Baltimore, you know, do they tell you about people that you don't know, or when they mention the new up-and-coming artists in Baltimore, how does that make you feel?
Hella good. Cause I you know, like I said, I set that Barstool.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I appreciate that. Just like when you look up certain people in Chicago, you gonna look up who they around and who they rapping around and shit like that. You feel me? So I done been to certain places, heard of Skoda, heard of Tech in Seattle and shit like that for real. You feel me? And it make a nigga proud for real. You feel me? But the ones that's coming up under us, they think that's all it is.
Right.
And if I'd have knew that when I started rapping and taking it this serious, that all these little niggas would think that that's the way.
Right.
That's the way. Like, Shorty, you could really manage. You could really get a couple dollars. You could really write some music and really be out the way and never be. But I see attention. Attention is really majority like a high scale thing for niggas these days.
Yeah, social media has made people feel as though, being important is more important than being successful.
It's crazy.
And I look at, the analytics, you look at how people look at social media, you have a totally different fan base than what people would expect. How does it make you feel when you on stage, man, and they singing your song word for word, and they not even from Baltimore, and they pay to come see you, where home, it's like we won't even pay attention.
It goes to show that we have a story, right, that people grab to, telling that story. You know what I mean? Those stories, like, you who don't know nothing about it. We go over in our places, everybody, listen. Everybody, us. Like, you gotta really break yourself because everybody's not us. And there's certain things that we can take with us and certain things we have to just leave right there at PWI or however you leave up out of this bitch. You gotta leave it right there for real because at the end of the day, it don't work other places.
Yeah, but when I first seen you walk in the room and you saw the city, man, you was like a kid in a candy store. You was like a kid opening up Christmas gifts. You saw your city, man. You was like my city, Yeah. And I was glad to see that because it's people from Baltimore that's way successful than me and you and never come back and never give back. And the first thing that, your team asked me was, how can Shordie Shordie give back?
I tried multiple times.
No, but again, sometimes it's not really on you to do the legwork because your heart in the right place. Mm-hmm. Because, sometimes people need to let people who do what they do it, right? You know what I'm saying? You're not a doctor. You can get somebody to the emergency room, but once you get there, you got to turn them over to the doctor, right? So the information that was received to me was heartfelt because I felt like, wanting to give back, again, and take me back full circle to when I first met you. A group of guys on the playground giving out to the kids who probably can't remember or do remember. And I look at you now when I see you walking here like, damn, I haven't seen my man in a while. But I follow you on social media. You never on no clown stuff. You always doing the best you can do to stay in that space. And I asked you about who was your influencer or influence back then. Do you have a favorite rapper now or someone you look up to now and say, what? I want to be like him, because I think, that's the way to go.
Rich.
What Rich?
Rich homie.
Rich homie Quan. Rich
homie.
Yeah.
That's why when I ever first started making music, I'm like, Rich homie Quan, Fetty Wap. Feel me? Fetty Wap got the little ad-libs going stupid. And then Rich homie Quan, he got lyrics and he got this melody they can hold. And when I got around him, Cuz taught me to, same thing you said, Stoke. Yo, teach yourself, yo. Teach yourself, yo. Ain't nothing nobody else can do for you better than yourself. I'm like, damn. And then his passing came, little situation, but I'm like, yeah, that was my idol. Other than that, I don't even really, as the person I am now, though, Stoke, like, it's kids that don't know Kevin Garnett.
Right.
I know Kevin Garnett.
KG.
But it's kids that for sure know Shordie Shordie, though.
Right.
They know Shordie Shordie. So I'm in that, like, the stature of being known for real. So it's like,
I mean, it comes a lot of responsibility with that, and it's torture to yourself if you don't accept it because you work so hard to become who you are. And when you speak about, people that are no longer with us, the Scooters, the G-Rock, and the Rich Homies, those guys, was good artists as well. When, the good expires come to bad sometimes. How do you problem solve or troubleshoot when you find yourself in a negative situation or crisis? What do you do? Because, you can't smoke yourself to death. Sometimes you got to say, you know what? I got to man up and fix this, whatever it may be.
I be coaching, though. So I be coaching. Them kids pure. pure shit. That's one thing when I started to really tap into my kids and coaching. I started.
When you say
to
coaching,
understand.
what you mean by coaching? Football?
Like, coaching football.
Okay.
Coaching football and my own children. For
Right.
real. Once I really started tapping in and really understanding the tap into the kids, I started to understand how pure they are. You dig what I'm saying? And then to be around adults. Adults ain't too pure. They take everything, they put all their perspectives on you, all this
Right.
extra shit. It's like, bro, the kid just waiting for you to see who you gonna, you feel me? Like who you gonna bring. Even if I'm in front of all these parents look at me. They know. They
Right.
look at me. They look them up. They see the music. They know who the fuck I am for real. They know. The kids don't know. But the parents do like, yeah, it's a rough place. But they allow me to trust me with them kids. Fuck with that.
Somebody in music or Hollywood or entertainment that you want to meet that
Shit, that nigga Usher was in the other room while I'm recording.
for real?
And I froze. I froze, Stoke.
You froze, man?
I froze. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, you know,
I froze.
that happens sometimes.
I froze, yo.
With the industry being, and I know you on social media, I'm not sure how frequent you stay up with current affairs.
Mm-hmm.
With the music industry being crippled and sometimes even, tarnished based on certain people's situations, like Diddy. Diddy was a mogul. He went to jail for something individual, nothing dealing with music per se. But how do you have those conversations with your team about what not to do? Like, we ain't going this direction. We ain't having no freak offs. We not going to get no rape charges, because it happens and it's prevalent in the entertainment business when you got women coming from all over. You got guys that want to fight and shoot and bust guns. How do you stay out the way and still remain successful knowing all that stuff is around you?
Legal guns, responsible parties, for sure responsible parties, and legal guns, for real, for sure. And as far as like the women, like I got a girl that I'm down there probably about to marry though, Stoke. So I ain't even, you feel me?
Right,
I'm
okay,
cool.
so you better take yourself off the market.
I'm cool, yeah.
Are you
cool.
ready for that?
I'm cool, yeah. I'm hella cool.
You ready? That's good,
I'm
man.
cool.
A lot of young men that's in their 20s and 30s, I mean, sometimes men we guilty of being greedy, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
And it's sometimes that selfishness and, again, that wanting to be, in everybody's bedroom. Sometimes, it really caused us to miss our blessings. So I'm glad you found someone that you are willing to spend the rest of your life with. And, but, when you think about you already got a relationship, settling down, how does it complement you? Do you feel like that's something that will make you a different person, a whole person, or something that you want to do just because?
No, I can't just do it just because. It got to be a situation out of to have some discipline. They got discipline, and I overwhelm myself with women so much though. That's how you got to do though. So you got to overwhelm yourself with that shit so much to see how you like it. You know what I mean? Like, all right, yeah, all right. I'm gonna keep eating crab cakes. I'm gonna keep eating crab cakes. All right, now I like crab cakes only on Tuesday.
Right.
You feel me? Like you gotta overwhelm yourself with certain shit that you enjoy to see how you like it though. You feel me?
Right.
So now I done overwhelm myself with women so much to the point where it's like, okay, now I like it, but I like just this. Let me just do just this. You feel me? Cause that shit.
So what is one thing people don't know about Shordie Shordie that they don't know about you? That's not in the tabloids. It's not on social media. What is one thing they don't know about you?
They let me smoke everywhere I go. I'm like that Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, that's a behavior
Of the industry.
acceptance. But what is something that, like, if you, like me, I'm scared of heights. But what is something about you that people just don't know?
Yeah, I don't like ice neither.
You know, like how you scared of heights?
No, man. I don't
But you've
either.
been in Thailand, you
Yep.
fly around the world. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And how does that make you feel, man, to be in different continents, different countries, man, doing what you love?
It is beautiful. The crazy part is Manila knows our music or knows a Baltimore story like it's theirs. Because they live in kind of like a bunched up city. Like it ain't as violent. It ain't violent at all for real. They don't play
Right.
that shit out in there. But is like the same type of like infrastructure. You feel me? So they live in that type of packed out type of situation on top of each other and shit like that, having to make it out for each other, having to hustle and shit like that, be entrepreneurs. So they fuck with us heavy, and their second language is English. So they like the fact that I'm making these stories from being a Baltimore kid, and I can't do nothing else but make real music. This ain't no shit. Like, I ain't talking about Bentleys. I ain't talking about shit that I ain't got. I ain't talking about none of that. Like, I ain't talking about none of that. I'm talking, if I do got it, I'm talking about it. If I had it, I'm talking about it. For real though. For real though. Stuff. Like, I'm a stunt like a nigga from my city supposed to, for real. But I don't make that type of music. You feel me? I make more of like, you gotta feel me type of music, for real. And that's from these streets. And people feel it everywhere.
You made a song, which is one of my favorites, man. And you was on a corner store with a lot of people. And I felt like that was needed. You know, it was like, you know, he was on a corner store. Stand on the corner, right? I don't know if he was in Baltimore or where he was at. But I felt like it was needed because I felt like sometimes people forget the culture. And they try to go places and make it about something else. And I'm not saying that you have to bring everybody with you that, you know, was down with you, because that's unfortunate. We can't. But it seemed like you was having so much fun in that video. What is a day in the life like for you making music? What's fun about it?
I'm in there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I don't really do late night sessions no more. I don't really like that shit like that. Depending on how the late night session is, like I gotta be at like a couch or something in there, those Stoke, I lay down for an hour and then wake up and then make hella music again. I do some shit like that. But I like 3 o'clock sessions, like during the day, where I still light outside and you feeling good. Sometimes candles at a time. If it's candles or the lights dim in the room. We ain't never had no street lights, so why the fuck am I having lights in the joint? You feel me?
Right.
But and I be everywhere. I'm versatile with the music, so I might be everywhere with it. I might feel a little edgy, make some edgy shit. I might feel a little lovey and make some lovey shit. I might feel a little in between, make some fun shit. You don't know. I just be everywhere with it.
Do you have any music aspirations? Like, is there something left in music for you to achieve or do? Like Grammy, BET, or one day you get a call like, man, we want you to really be on the Super Bowl. Like,
gotta get that though. Like, I want to be able to at least get one of those nominations and probably win, just to yell out the city. Just to yell out the city. Like, just to yell out the city. Like, they just gotta know that I just do the nomination. Once they nominate me, know everybody from the city gonna go stupid if we watching whatever you watching, for real. And then when I win, you know I'm gonna go out there and talk my shit. Man, it's Baltimore off the rib and I'm yelling it. Everybody go, it's gonna be crazy.
Funny you say that, because that's why we love the Ravens so much.
Yeah.
And whenever the Ravens playing, you know, and they win, the city is so calm, man. Everybody, when they lose, it's like Iraq. Right? I'm like, man, oh man. And I mean, you grow up, you know, a sports fan, but I don't know how to detach myself from an emotion that don't have nothing to do with me. Like, I don't get a dime off the player's salary. I don't, you know, I shouldn't lose, no me lose, but that's, I guess, the sport in me. When they was down when their record was 1-5, it's like, yo, nothing to talk about. They won 2 in a row, now we feel like we're gonna win the Super Bowl. That's just the culture of our city, you know. And I tell people all the time, every game to me feels like a playoff game with Baltimore. And women are so engaged, you know, with football, unlike the baseball team, because we don't have a basketball team. You know, are you a Ravens fan?
Yeah, super. Come on, Stoke. I be having to wake up at, what, when we play
3 hours
12,
early.
Yeah, I be having to wake up at 9:35, shit
right,
like that,
to watch the
just
game.
to catch a game,
Right.
yeah, shit like that. But believe me, if I'm waking up over there, wilding out, man, believe me, there's a lot of teams over there in Vegas that they got like some sorry ass niggas that they believe in the Raiders. San Francisco
Chargers.
Man, I be hearing a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, you know, it's Baltimore, again, you know, we've been through a lot, you know, and again, we won 2 Super Bowls, you know, but you know,
That ain't enough.
I look at you know where we could have been and where we are going, and the love and dedication and loyalty to our football team is like nothing I've seen, you know, in a very, very long time. What do you do for fun?
If it ain't music, I'm coaching. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, or I kind of lay off on Wednesdays for real, a little bit for real, just to work out and shit like that for real. But yeah, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, I'm coaching. Throughout fall season, yeah, coaching. And then once fall season end, like our championship November the 8th, after that's done, you're my free man.
Now, you know, I'm of course I'm older. I try to stay relevant and I try to stay in that space so I can have that conversation with y'all guys when it comes to fashion.
Right.
You became an iconic figure because you put that shit on. You put it on. And I mean, and sometimes I don't even know what it is. I gotta watch you and my son to say, what the hell is that? What is that? But I know it's something. You know what I'm saying?
No, for real.
What do you get your fashion from? Is it like, you know what, man? I'm just gonna look at the blogs or whatever. When you go to the store, how does it come to you so easy? Because you make it look fluid. Like, what do you do to get your fashion to be so consistent?
We didn't really have much. I was bummy for a little minute. And then I watched all the dope boys be icy as shit. So I'm like, man, look, when I get some money on, I'm going to have every fucking Louis belt. I'm going to have all the cool little shit. I really like the Jim Jones era, and they kind of gave that back to us, like the baggy, you feel me, type of swag for real. And I'm like, hell yeah, I couldn't wait for this little era to come back for real. I jumped on that like a hot bag.
Yeah, because a lot of people, man, when, you know, some of these kids, honestly, they lose their freedom, their health, and some of their life trying to gain, you know, success by way of, you know, getting money to buy the things that you have, you know. Do anything make you sad to a point where, though, like, you wish you could do something, but you can't?
The gun violence, probably. It was like, I was like, at one point, nigga was enhancing that shit.
Right.
Whether it was behavior, whether it was action, whether it was, you feel me, I was enhancing that shit. So who the fuck am I to say, yo, Shordie, this woo? I just go quiet though, Stoke. That's why I'm that quiet like that. You feel me? Because I'm a hypocrite.
Right.
I'm a hypocrite. If I'm saying anything to any of these young niggas, don't switch and then we used to love putting belt the ass. That's all we used to know. We didn't say it was belt the ass. I like how the little niggas put it. You feel me? We didn't say it was belt the ass, but we used to love doing that shit. So it's like, how am I to be like, to chastise what they doing? And it's like, we was doing the same thing. I just gotta be quiet and just, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad, though, that I just gotta be quiet and just let it just play out. But I have no, and mentally, I'm smart as hell, but I have no way in seeing or wording or anything how I can persuade a nigga like, yeah, hey, yeah.
Like, I mean, it's difficult because, again, like I say, you know, a lot of people grow up love, some grow up survival. When you see people in those situations and they doing the best they can what they have, sometimes you got to just pray, you know. But the city seems to be going in a different direction. You know, we have a mayor and Brandon Scott, you know, kudos to Brandon for doing the best he could do with his team. And, you know, we got the governor, you know, who's doing the best he could do. You got guys like Ivan Bates doing the best they can do. So you got 3 black men at the same time that has their hand on our city. And it's like the pulse of violence is decreased. Do that make you feel a certain way? Because now it's like, okay, we come from a gritty city, but it's not like it used to be, but it still has the potential. But lately we've been chilling because I don't know if you've been keeping up with the current affairs, but we are, you know, in a decline in homicides and fatal shootings, right? For the first time, they say in 50 years, it's all-time low. And it gives me great pleasure to say that, you know, that we live in a city now that sometimes, you know, we don't always talk about violence, you know what I'm saying? But they say the city has been doing pretty well in terms of non-fatal and homicides, you know, for the first time they say in 50 years. And I support those guys in their individual and official capacity because if they win, the city wins. Just like the Ravens. You know, Ravens win, we all win, right? And I definitely understand what you mean when you try to talk to somebody or talk someone out of doing something that we used to do because it makes us like a hypocrite. But that's what I said earlier. If I'm doing what I'm doing now, then maybe they wouldn't be doing what they doing now. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta give it to the little Reggie, like little Reggie's.
Shout out to
and all
Reggie,
that.
man.
You gotta give it to those little niggas. They making it understood that you don't have to just make money rapping.
Right.
Like, I don't just got to blow up rapping. You feel me? I got to stream. And if I got to stream, I got to be a cool nigga. I can't be a streaming, walking around tough nigga. Like, you can't. It doesn't mix. You know what I'm saying? And I, like, really shout out to Shordie because I feel like Shordie is kind of making a little touch.
Reggie is doing a wonderful job, man.
You feel me? He making it understood that you can do some positive shit.
And we're talking about girl, he's funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I reached out to him a while back, you know, to give him some advice. I didn't want nothing from him, but I seen this. I seen the vision.
Yeah.
I told him 2-3 years ago, I said, man, not necessarily to get into streaming, but I told him to, you know, adapt new concepts to his, you know, comedian style, and then add a little social media mix to it, you know, and go far. And I'm so proud of him, man. You know what I'm saying? And one day I you know, get to interview him and talk about some things with him as well. But you know, y'all guys make me proud because the torch that was, you know, I guess once lost is now found. Y'all guys are really doing things in a way where it's like, you know, they doing their thing, you know. And only a blind man or a hater would say something other than that, you know. You know, and you think about, you know, how far you came. What's next for Lil Shordie? I mean, other than music, you spoke about getting married, you know, what else is next for you?
I don't know. I really, there's a lot of space and opportunity in Vegas, so I've been really looking for property and trying to buy space.
And what made Vegas be?
Space.
Well, I mean, you know, a lot of people go to Atlanta and LA or Miami. What made Vegas be somewhere you chose to reside?
Elvis.
Oh God. Elvis Presley. I thought I was from Memphis.
Elvis. we from the South. I would say from Delaware, all them niggas, like, you feel me? We South. You feel me? So I would say, like, from a town like that and to start something new that ain't really have that for my city, like, was no tattoos. Niggas wasn't really into hair and all that. Wasn't really too many tattoos on the face and all that. It wasn't really no hair shit really going on. It wasn't no singing about no women. Niggas was not singing about no women. One thing about my dog G-Rock and Scooter, they probably had no song singing though at all. But about women, yeah, probably like a couple, throw a little sprinkle in there every once in a while. But that is what I took from wanting to be in the middle of them and not be better or nothing like that. I never wanted to be better, and that was the thing. I think that was what kept me going. I didn't want to be better than nobody. I just wanted to be better than me, and I think me wanting to be better than me kind of.
You definitely did your own thing. You spoke about the face tats, right? Mm-hmm. Or tats in general. You know, when a person make that decision, there's no going back. I got to make it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be in the bank. You know, I mean, again, I believe in affirmative action. I believe in giving people an opportunity. But like when you start doing stuff like this, like, man, you know what? This is the life. I'm gonna make it. This is the life I chose. You know, and you know, I'm running with it. You know what I'm saying? And was that like any type of doubt or discouraging, you know, factor that popped up in your mind? Like, man, you know, you just say, I'm doing it. Because sometimes people do it for the culture. And some people do it because they know, like, you know, I'm not doing this. I'm doing this because I know I ain't going back.
Doing something different was doing something different, though. That's however I could express myself. That was me at that time, express myself. It wasn't really like for nothing like that. I was shiesty as hell. My face was butt naked. No facial hair, no nothing. Boy looked sneaky. Man, put some tattoos on that boy's face so that man look like he like, come on, man, he gotta look like something. Like, man, ain't no he just looking like I just looked at you sneaky. Like, bro, I had to look myself in the mirror.
What did you do with your first check? If you remember, a lot of times
I cashed out.
You cashed out?
I cashed out all the way down. I remember how much money I had though. It was like 2021 winter. I had like 40,000 left from a $270,000 check. I had like $40,000 left. I'm in the we out where we at? Putty Hill. We gotta be out like Putty Hill or something. It's snow on the ground, Stoke. I'm looking, we smoking, we chilling. Mind you, I'm the man who I am.
Right.
At that time, I'm like who I am. I'm looking around. I can't do this. Nah, yo. 40,000, I'm down 40,000, I'm who I am. And that from that day on, like I even told my homies, like, from that day on, I'm like, I'm not going back to that right there. Like I just can't. I don't know what I'm gonna stop doing. I don't know. I just don't know. But as the time goes, I guess niggas didn't listen to me. Some niggas did, some niggas didn't. It just is what it is. But I had a path though, and I knew.
I told my son, some people look at leaving Baltimore as an opportunity, right? Because, you know, we don't really manufacture, produce a lot, you know, especially when it comes to entertainment business. But, you know, sometimes you got to be around the right place in the right rooms to get, you know, the opportunities that a lot of other people get when they in Atlanta, L.A., Miami, New York. When you decided to move out of Baltimore, was it like, I made it, or I got to save myself?
Yeah, that's it. Gotta save myself. I'm too convenient. I'm super in love with conveniency. And it's gonna do something to me. Like, it's gonna take me away from me. And you know how that go. Here.
Right.
Like in this city, you know how that go. Too much conveniency, you know how it's gonna go. You know where it's going, like, it ain't no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. Or them people try to take you.
Oh yeah,
like it ain't no like
your demographic is extinct. Y'all don't really have like longevity attached to anything because
good.
you know.
Yeah, I'm good on that. Like, and then I don't feel safe though. Come on, Stoke. I feel like I gotta wake up every day. I gotta move around. I gotta be on 100,000, and I ain't trying to be like that.
That type of trauma causes people to drink and smoke more. You know,
drugs.
And, you know.
And you think you on point, you extra drugs,
right.
extra perks, you think you on point because you, no, it's nothing. Like, I don't, man.
And I tell people all the time that they don't know what y'all guys go through. Like, you know, shout out to guys like Javante Tank Davis from Baltimore, right, who,
shout out to bro.
You know, is very successful at boxing, you know, and for whatever reason, it's like, you know, he just, you know, find himself in situations that, you know, unbeknownst to me, but it's like it made the headlines. You know, and I think about what we could do different collectively to make sure that we are all okay, right? Do you have a big homie? You like, you know what, man? Let me check on my big homie because this ain't right. Sometimes, although you grown, you know, like I got big homies, but maybe they older than me, but I still call them for advice before I make a decision that could cost me something, right?
Yeah.
Just the other day, I made a post about my relationship with Emory and Jay-Z. I remember when I was in prison and I wanted to go to trial. They lied on me, but I did something, but I didn't do what they said I was doing. I ain't taking those 10 years. And we like, man, I'm gonna take 15 slices. Slices was equivalent to years. I said, what? I said, this man is crazy. And he said, Stoke, man, don't lose your life trying to save your freedom, man. You know, we're gonna be back one day. That conversation I had with him, you know, allowed me to go upstairs to my subconscious mind and accept a 15-year prison term with no parole because I felt like if he was doing it, I could have did it. And I did that. And then when I was ready to run for mayor, I called him and I said, man, listen, I want to do whatever I can do to save the city or show younger guys that change is possible. Not in the political arena, just in life. Because you know where we come from, you know, a lot of times people don't make it. You know, they end up, you know, increasing the recidivism, going back and forth to jail, whatever. And when I did that, people misunderstood my motive. They thought I really wanted to be a politician. I said, no. And you know how much money is in music. Back then, the artists I was working with, we getting $75 to $85, $100,000 a show. Go overseas, you get $150. I put all that on hold to run for mayor. And I'm like, I would never do that again, right? But I'm like, yo, I was crazy, but I love my city so much, right? So I talk to people who I think can give me advice. Who do you talk to that, and while you name them, do you have someone you talk to, you know what, man, that's going to check you regardless if you had $1 million or no dollars because you know they love you for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a few people around me like that. That's why I had to make that type of circle. The no sayers. The way I'm going, I start picking up my guitar. The way I'm going, Stoke, I gotta have a nigga be like, yo, you need to chill. And I gotta be able to trust that person. It's not even the fact. It could be whoever though, Stoke. You gotta be able to trust that person though. And that's why I really had to be able to learn how to program to trust myself, to now move people away that I can trust fully. That I can trust what they saying. I can trust their movements. I can trust myself turning it back. And cause I know he doing something of his own means.
Right.
It ain't on me.
Right.
You feel me? When I turn my back, like I needed that. I needed that.
Do you feel like, people might look at, and I'm gonna say us because we both black men from Baltimore, as soft when we don't be overly aggressive no more? Because sometimes when I troubleshoot a problem solve, I do a different way than I used to do. Mm-hmm. Because I want to live long and I want to be healthy and happy and successful. But your generation, to me, is full of emotions. Because like yourself, raised by women, single family household, they make decisions that are unbeknownst to me. Because although I grew up with a woman, I grew up with a village. Emotional. And I think that's how a lot of these things happen, right? Do you have a problem with somebody saying like, okay, he changed, he's soft, he's because we're not guerrilla about everything anymore?
No, I don't. I fuck with it. I like that. Like it's so one growth. That for sure off the rip, I'll take that. Like, damn, you grew. That's what you basically telling me for real. Then on the other hand of things, I take that because you making me seem now that I stand out. Before I didn't stand out because I was a statistic.
Yeah.
So I didn't stand out to you when I was a statistic. We not having this conversation. No, for real stuff. We not having this conversation when I was fucked up, when I was drugs, this, that, and third. We having this conversation that I'm sober than a bitch. Like, come on, Stoke. I ain't, you know what I'm saying?
And it's so unfortunate, man, that where you are today, it's a blessing, man, because you're healthy, you're alive. And to me, whether you got wealth or not, your mind and you mature, and I really take, pride in saying that, when I look at you and other individuals, I feel happy about the future. You look at these young kids out here, as they call them YNs, whatever it may be, and you saying, man, I got to turn my future over to him. Like, this is the person that's going to take my place, right? I'm not sure about that. And, you really can't pick and choose, but sometimes when you don't really have a strong candidate of people who are mature enough to understand that you can't continue to do that because, your best thinking got you where you are, right? And outside of music, I tell my children, just be good people. Be a good person because, we believe in the law. Law gonna bless you, and they say what's for you is for you. What's not is not. I know what money has done to certain people. It had changed them. Mm-hmm. And I was with someone who money changed them. And I would have gave my life for that person, right? But money changed them to a point where as though they forgot how we got there.
Yeah, for real.
And that part is kind of upsetting. So now it makes me discouraged to even want to deal with somebody in that way anymore. How do you deal with people who say, man, Shordie, put me on, or manage me, or whatever? How do you deal with that?
I don't do that. I didn't get there like that. I really didn't get there like that. So I really can't. I won't. I just had a whole company be involved in a nigga whole life for 4 years, ain't do a motherfucking thing. And they about to be like, Shordie about to do something. Right. I'm about to make some shit. Right. I'm sorry, cuz. And then like you just now said, I gotta self-educate myself. Didn't go back, get some more education. Like, let me chill real quick. You gotta give a nigga, give me some time. Like, give me that jigger type of length. And then I'll put you on.
Right.
When he started putting niggas on later on in his career.
It wasn't early. No, people always say, man, give me till it's gone.
On me.
And to me, a guy joked with me. He said, man, if I give to you, you gonna have more than me. You know what I'm saying? If I give you, and a lot of people don't understand that, right? And Is it hard saying no?
It used to be. It used to be because I know where we coming from. But at a certain point, we get older, and we get to a point where the motherfuckers got habits that I don't got, and I can't care about anything more than you care about it. I don't give a fuck. It ain't money, shoes, your shoestrings, none of that. I can't care about that shit more than you care about it for real. So it gets to a point where like, hold up, what is you asking from me? For real. I got to ask you for something for real. And a lot of the times, Stoke, I hit a nigga with the last loan, you know?
Right.
Last loan for sure. You know how a nigga be like, they get some money from you and then they go to people and be like, yo, I owe cuz, so I got to give him this money back. You don't owe me shit. Let's just, look, let me give you this. I'm going to give you 1,000. I'm going to give you 2,500. Then don't give me nothing back.
Keep it going.
You owe yourself.
Right.
Yeah, look, a nigga here. Nigga hate to hear
that's
yourself.
a gift.
You owe yourself. Look, nigga hate to hear you owe yourself because really, you selfish. Selfish is selfish.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand no, and they look at no as being portrayal.
No, but selfish is selfish.
And I'm saying, like, to me, like, you know, you work your heart off, being where you are, you got kids to provide for them. They don't understand that part. You know, I know music is 85% business. You know, the 15% that you do on stage don't have nothing to do with anything you put into that. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes when people see money or success, they think it just means it's fluid. Like, yo, it's keep coming. No, I got to get up and work. I got to pay people. You know, I got business associates. I got business managers. I got lawyers on deck. I mean, and most of the music money that's being recouped is based on how you sell music. People don't understand that. They think, you know, they look at the three
I think
budgets.
it's hip hop.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think R&B rappers, R&B singers got to deal with that type of energy.
Yeah.
I don't think country singers got to deal with that type of energy either, though.
No, you're
I
right.
think it's
right.
just the
no, I
rap
see what you're
push.
saying. Right.
I think it's just the chains, the watches, and all. I think
Yeah,
it's,
man.
I think
They
it's
flexed
that.
it. They.
But nigga, country singers, they flex they farms.
Yeah,
they
they do.
flex they horses and
Farm.
wish they cousin would ask like, yo, let me hold 10,000.
Yeah,
10,000.
you know, I definitely the culture.
Get your ass off my farm.
Yeah.
For real, on me. That's like I know the other genres don't go through that. It's just us rappers, like our community, I guess. You feel me? Like we that's what we have to deal with. Like I don't believe Usher has to deal with that type of shit.
I think, you know, for real, I think, you know, being in the minority, I think when we become successful, whether it's basketball, music, whatever, they come to ask for it. And I just think, especially the women, you know, and to me, you know, I look at, you know, the social cloud that we are involved in now based on perception. If you got 1 million followers, I know people that got 10 million followers don't have $10 million nowhere. Right, you know what I'm saying? I know people got 1 million followers, don't have $1 million nowhere, right? And, you know, so perception has really played a role in how people want to be perceived. So sometimes they look like they got money,
It ain't there.
but it ain't there.
No.
So when you tell them you ain't got it, they think you lying. You know, me and my baby mom was joking the other day. She said, man, so many people used to pay Peter to pay Paul. But now Paul ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? So he can't pay Peter.
Nah, ain't nothing.
You know, or Peter ain't got it, he can't pay Paul,
I'm
right?
broke,
You know,
baby. What you say?
You know?
I'm broke, baby. We can hold their hands out. I'm broke, baby.
So
real.
Scholar did something. He evolved as a person, and I'm going to ask you: do you see yourself ever doing it? He was in a movie. Do you see yourself ever acting?
Probably not, Stoke.
Well, because you know when you're in your videos, you are doing a form of acting on videos, and sometimes you know for a check. I mean, somebody calling you Shordie Shordie for a check.
I want to move over like from an artist to a musician. You know what I mean? So if I do go to the movie screen after musician,
no, you saying
no?
I get it. I want to say something
musician
different
first.
So when you say musician, what does that entail?
My guitar, for sure. Me playing my guitar on my shows. Shows now go up further because now I won't even bring my guitar. I'm me, but with my guitar, I'm.
What made you want to play the guitar? I mean, was that always one of your
music,
favorites?
though, I like those strings. That's majority of my songs is like guitars. They got guitars in them, so I'm like, shit. Why not pick up a little pitch, and nothing but women. You see how women be acting over instruments. Tripping.
Right.
Oh my God. Like, oh my God, cuz. Like, yo, for real, let's get on to the real business of this shit. For real. Like, this a Baltimore nigga talking like this.
Right.
Like, women acting crazy over the oh man, that's crazy. Oh, chill out. I got a saxophone player, right? That be on tour with me. Bruh is ridiculous. I think I had him like 2 times last tour, and he just did a cover for my acoustic album. Bruh's ridiculous. When you're on stage, girl got the bitches damn near melting. You know, Stoke. That's a saxophone. I really didn't understand instruments until I got around all of them, and I'm like, that sax. I could really just take the sax everywhere. I don't even need nothing else. He got the motherfucker feeling like we at Erykah Badu show or something like that. I like that. You feel me? So once I'm like artistry to musician, come on, Stoke.
Yeah, that's a different lane. You know, I think about people who do multiple things with their talent, and you got people who act and people who sing. And the reason why I'll ask you about acting only because to me a lot of people look at what sells, right? Mm-hmm. Sex, drama, and violence sells, and I think when people are in music, they are asked to play certain roles, you know, and it goes back to when LL Cool J was in the movies, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You go back to
Snoop
Ludacris and Snoop, you know, a lot of people, you know, and then sometimes, you know, look at Jamie Foxx, you know, I can go on and on, but I always think it's important to make sure that you are doing more than one thing if possible, because if one stream of income stops, that means you stuck. But if you got multiple streams of income and you're prioritizing over your economics, you know, you should be successful long term. You're 29, you be 30 in August 6th, something like that, you know. I get that right, you know. Did some research, and you know, I think, you know, growing up, you know, the way you grew up, you owe it to yourself, you know. And my friend told me, she said, you know, I always say I want to leave my kids something. She said, you thinking too small. I said, what? It's generational wealth. She said, no, think about your kids. And that's when you start creating, you know, lineages of you know, of finances, because now what you put in play, if your kids drop the ball, their kids can pick it up.
Oh, me, yeah, right.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, me.
So I understand that. So I applaud you for going to a different genre of music to be successful, because a part of it because you like it, a part of it you love it, then it makes sense financially, you know? Yeah. You got people right now, man, who are, you know, making money doing what they like. And then you got people, man, who doing what they love for free. But
as we grown, though, we got to make it.
Got to balance it.
You feel me? I got to have fun, and I got to make it to the point where it's a great business accusation, too. Like, as I'm putting them, like, nigga, I got to play the guitar. Guitar lessons. Hey, get them the vocal classes, too. And, you know what I'm saying? That's, you feel me?
And that's important, man, because not only are you preparing yourself to be successful, you're doing the work, you know, that's necessary to, you know, to be good, you know. And that's good. Well, you know, some people don't think that far. You know, a lot of people be so content where they are, and they like, man, you know, I mean, Instagram time they make it and they stop working. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, when the label stop calling and, you know, you can't get a show, you know what I'm saying?
Got the long paragraphs, saying fuck the label. Nah,
right,
for real.
You talk about,
but that be the good part about me being from here, though. I know how to hustle.
Right.
Niggas from other places, they don't know how to, so they get the money from labels and all that for real. Don't know how to bubble, don't know how to do nothing. I watch these niggas, though. I be with these niggas. Niggas being more with me. Right. Like, oh yeah, we spending the same amount of money, but you don't get when I leave here, I'm trying to shake back. Right. You about to go spend some more money with the titties and this. I'm like, man, they lost it, cuz.
I tell people all the time, being from Baltimore has made me look at Timberland boots different.
Know me.
Right? You know, so to me, a pair of Timberland boots looks
they fashionable.
It's fashion and a hustler. But to someone else from the
Colorado,
other side, they looking at them as work boots, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, no, we don't. No, I say because how we use certain things, you know, different, you know, and whether we call them butters, we don't tie them up. We do a lot with what we was taught. But to me, if I see some guy in the pad telling, but I see a hustler, I don't see a construction worker, but they construction boots, right?
Yeah.
So, and we turn them into lifestyle, But I think to your point, people when they get money, they spend it all, and then they get wife mouth, and they sit back and try to figure out, like how to get that next, and then that's when all the problems come. You know what I'm saying? And you really get to see who heals who. Because I always look at people in their team. When somebody make a mistake, first thing I say, who was in that person's team? Who allowed him or her to make that decision? And unbeknownst to me, I felt like if someone who had the credibility or the respect should have said something. But they don't, and they keep making these decisions and sometimes it's too late. You know what I'm saying?
Some people want you to crash out too.
Oh, man. Wow. What does that mean?
Like, they don't want you like I want her to fuck up. And it don't be, sometimes it don't even be like strategic or nothing like that. It's just like, you don't know how far that wish can go. That's why I don't understand why people wish that type of like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't want cuz to get as much money as me. But then I'm like, yo, what if he homeless?
Damn.
You gonna take care of cuz? You gonna help cuz? But you not. Niggas done died. Niggas get booked. No lawyer money. No funeral. What? Oh yeah, I gotta change my level. Change everything now, Stoke. For your mother not be getting no flowers, nobody be saying nothing to her, nobody be nothing, exactly, treating her all type of crazy, all like it's just crazy.
Some
shit.
people, I think when we supposed to do the right thing and we don't, and we have this temporary memory loss, until someone reminds us of what should be or what we should be doing. Because you're absolutely right, when people mom lose their child and sister lose their brother, we shoot it like, and I don't want to say people don't know how to do it because these are people they be cool with, right? But I be knowing when you're in those funerals and everybody boo-hooing and crying, when the funeral over, I know 90% of them going on with their life. They came to pay their respect for that day.
Yeah.
But
That's
then
it.
after that,
Not even going to the burial. Some niggas just about to leave, get drunk right at the
makeshift memorial gonna be a celebration. After that, is war stories.
Yeah.
And I lost a lot of people that was close to me, but you can't preserve someone's legacy, on the strength of silence, right? It doesn't work that way, And I think to your point, in your generation losing so many people so rapid, it's like they normalize it and they become so immune that they think, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do what the rest of the guys did. I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna smoke, and then I'm gonna get this black balloons they're gonna add and after it's gone, Because I remember, man, when somebody would die, you would mourn for my generation. We would mourn for months and months and months.
The time we spent ain't the money we getting. So shit don't add up though. So both of them consequences is death or jail. Money and money. Niggas ain't got it. So niggas gotta cut it out. Niggas gotta cut it like it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. When trades was alive, you gotta have money to go to war.
Yeah, people don't understand.
I thought I was gonna be a little broke little nigga and just run around dangerous. Come on, Stoke. You know how far that get you?
Yeah, Allah has something different from you. I mean, the gangsters used to tell you that. You watch the movies with Lucky Luciano and Bugsy Seal and Miles Lansky. They used to always say, man, you need money to beef. You know what I'm saying? So, and even when you think about, the negativity, how would you grade the music industry today? From A to Z? What would you grade it? Or 1 from 10?
From when we had it?
No, right now, how would you grade the music industry now? If someone want to get in the music industry, what would you tell them? And how would you grade it? Scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, you gotta do something else. Cause the attention ain't it. It don't last. I'm gonna tell somebody to do something to blow up next year, or to not even next year, next month. He gonna get 1 million followers, a whole lot of attention on IG, but 250 people at his show. When, mind you, he gonna look at me and have 5 or 6, something like that, 500,000 followers. And he gonna look at a nigga like me and have 2,500 people in the room. And they're like, how the fuck is he doing this shit? You know what I mean? That's the man. You gotta believe in somebody. You got to. That's the man. That ain't nobody. That's me. I have to give it to myself because I'm putting the initiative. But that's the man putting me in every single room, in every single situation. And I'm, like I said, I'm collective enough to shift these rooms. Stoke.
No, that's big and it's important, man. I tell people all the time, everybody that followed you don't follow you. Because you might have 1 million followers, but you do a show and it's hard to get people to come out. You know, because they're not really engaged, or whatever you're doing, they're not a willing participant to invest in, right?
Yeah.
I've seen your shows online, you know, and I love when you make everybody turn the lights out, man, and they sing it word for word, verbatim, you know, and everybody seem like they happy to be there, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, a lot of people don't necessarily get that support, you know, and I think that's why they get discouraged and they end up doing something else. A lot of people fund their own music career because won't nobody give them a hand up. I ain't even gonna say a hand out, right? And I understand that in the music business, you know, when you manage someone or you want to be, you know, involved, it costs, right? So when people don't have the money to get studio time or get beats, they go to YouTube, and then they don't have clearance to release the record, right? It's like, yo, you know, my man made a beat, but you know what a beat from DJ Mustard would do for your career. Everybody can't afford that beat, so it's a scope. And I learned even 7 years ago that 97% of the platform is ran by the top 3%, and the other 97% of the people gotta get in where they fit in at, you know. Yeah. So when you think about, you talk about your shows and all that, you know, you're blessed. But I just feel like what you have been doing has been working. And I think that's a part of your consistency. It's working. Some people have good runs, whether it be one hit wonder, one tour, gone. Because, you know, music, I mean, the lifespan of album now, man, is a week and a half, you know what I'm saying? But some folk with different demographic of people seem like they just hanging there, man, forever and ever and ever, you know, because there's not that many people putting out music like you putting out in that genre, you know what I'm saying? That's good. If it is, I don't know. I watch, I study. A rapper come out, you know, I don't know what 21 Savage at right now, but he was on fire last year, right? Lil Baby's still gonna do what he do because, you know, when you control the airways, you know, but there are a lot of guys that made music last year, I haven't heard them and no one's talking about them because the platform has been perpetuated by other musicians. You know what I'm saying? So when you speak about the 250 at the show, they ain't gonna last long, you know, because you can't pay your bills like that. And the label, you know, whether you got to advance or not, man.
They ripping that shit.
Come on, man.
You owe.
You owe.
You owe.
You owe.
You owe hella bread. The niggas going for sure get that money back some type of way or put you on the shelf. And when you get put on the shelf, you can't do no business with no other
label.
You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, though. I ain't had to do that with Warner.
Right. Is there anybody you want to work with that you haven't, like any artists you love to work with?
Eventually I'm gonna work with everybody that I want to work with.
And I ain't speaking locally. I'm saying, you know, a Weeknd, a J. Cole, or Drake, somebody you really, you know, want to be. Because I want to hear you say your answer and tell me why. Because people think that they need those people to make it, and you shaking your head saying no. Why are you saying no?
If it don't make sense, I be on the same thing with Beezy, with my manager, for real. Like, if it don't make sense, like, I tell bro the same thing. I'm not chilling with cuz. It's not genuine.
Organic, right.
Yeah, like, we not gonna be locked in like how me and Murder is. Like, we locked in. We locked in. We might have our difficulties. I mean, we might have our disagreements or shit like that for real. But here and there, but other than that, overall, we locked in. If we not on that type of time for real, and bro, the first person that was like that was like, yo.
Who's that?
Murder Beats.
Okay.
That was the first person that like got in and pulled me up like, yeah, Shorty, you really like, and I was thug 2 out like big guns round, bro, all this, that, and the third, bro. Wouldn't even like one of them type of people. Cause like, man, you gotta chill, make this type of music, smooth it out a little bit. I get it chilling, like, bro, you gotta get into this music industry. I was just too much like I said, I wanted to get back home. Too much in the streets.
Right.
And even when niggas was saying from Baltimore, I was in Cali. I was home the whole time. I feel like that was a narrative to build I don't know, a speculation that I left. You know what I mean? But I never really went nowhere. What made me really want to leave is to understand that I was too convenient here. It was people really seeing me like,
but it's necessary.
Why you here,
I mean,
bro?
you know, when you think about your future aspirations and you know what it takes to be successful, you know, you look at the resources that are in Baltimore and how limited they are. You know, when you're in Vegas, you take an hour trip to LA to meet with somebody. You know, New York, yeah, 3 hours away. But I love when people are not so accessible, but they are in places where they can win. And it's about winning. You know, it's not about always being famous or being cool or being real, because sometimes keeping it real gets you killed. You know, wanting to stay here. And there are a lot of hopeless people. You know, we good people, but we still hopeless because we don't see a lot of success, you know. I mean, one of the reasons why I stay, and I bought a house somewhere else before, you know, I still have it, but my business are here that keep me here. But I always advise people to chase your dreams, you know, and don't wait too long, because people always think they got time. You know, man, I got time. No, I don't know if you understand how life works, you know. And, you know, I think about your career. I think about you as a person, you know. I think about you as a son, you know. I think about you, you know, as a dad, you know. And I'm saying to myself, this guy come from this city. He's able to touch different shores, and his different experience and things of that nature can really influence and motivate the culture. And it does that in ways where you probably don't understand yet, because you change one life. That one life can change a lot of life. We only had one black president, but look how many people he affected, right? And when you're on stage, you singing and you enjoying yourself, man, you know, because that's what you work so hard to be. Like you say, it's people who want to do just that. So you are a blueprint. Do you feel like you're a prophet in terms of when you say certain things, people believe it and they act on that? Because, you know, words are irretrievable. You can't bring them back. Even in music, like you say, you don't cap. You say things that are true. You know, you got some people who say things
like a messenger.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
That shit scares me though, because you know, when your message is done, you are too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that part scares the shit out of me though. So like on a different type of level, to be that person, like I'm, you know, like yo, like nah, it hit different. So you never really know when your message is fully given. You know what I mean? Like it's weird.
So you in the studio now, you working on another project, or you releasing
Yeah, I
project?
got Laws now, 11/21.
11/21. You excited?
Hell yeah.
You know, a lot of people, because, you know, we get, you know, I always wear cocky, but we get so, like, used to, you know, people waiting, and I think, you know, that's probably the last drop, because we go, music business go dark after that, you know what I'm saying? You know, until, I think, the second week of January, you know what I'm saying? So you can everybody a holiday vibe, you know what I'm saying? Was that intentional?
Yeah, always. I like to do it when the office is closed.
Right.
So when the office open back up, they're like, oh yeah, Shordie Shordie on the desk. This is what I've been hearing through holidays. This is what I've been hearing. Woo, woo. It's like they gotta like overwork.
Is there any collabs on there? Anything special people should look out for, or just Shordie Shordie being Shordie Shordie?
Yeah, Short Doug being me, man.
Yeah,
For real. Yeah, I probably got Wiz and
Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah,
That's a good guy. That's a good friend of mine. We worked together before.
And Tiger on the song.
Oh, that's good, man.
Yeah.
You remind me of Lil Wiz. You know, Wiz is, you know, another good friend of mine. We toured together, you know, many years back, and, you know, I haven't met Tiger yet, but, you know, we used to work out in the morning together, because Wiz is a workaholic. He like to work out.
I don't do that with him.
You know, exactly. You kidding me? You got it, man. Wiz be out there in the sun, man, working out, you know, doing all kind of things. And I don't know if you met his manager, Will, but he's another good guy. Yeah, just they some good guys, man, you know. But, you know, I definitely want to, you know, tell you, man, you know, before we close, man, that, you know, I'm thankful that you and your team, you know, was able to make this happen, man, and sit down, man, you know, and, next time I want to come to where you are to do like a day in the life because I think there's so many layers to you, man, and your heart in the right place. I wish, when I think about the children of Baltimore, because I can't speak for Milwaukee or LA, but the kids of Baltimore can take a page out your book because sometimes being different means you are successful in your own right. And I always tell people, be the first you. You're one of the few artists I met that wanted to be the first you. A lot of people want to be the next someone. That's why I ask you, are you influenced by anybody? Yeah, it's okay to follow behind somebody and look at their blueprint, but it's so important to be true to yourself, you know what I'm saying? And, while you telling me about marriage and your children's lives, you're not in trouble, you're not walking around with an ankle bracelet. Not that I condemn anybody who do, but it says that you're doing the right thing. You got a good group of people. You come in here with 3 or 4 people, and it's not like you're trying to send the wrong message because the culture can drown you out with reality, and people can forget real fast until they are awakened with, whether it be something that they can't live with. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And again, my prayers and my support is with you, man. I'm excited for November 21st, man. I know you're going to do well. Anything, as I always told you before, man, I can do in my individual, my official capacity to see you win, man. It's a pleasure, man, And I just want the very best for you because you're doing good with that. You're not someone who making us look bad. A lot of people make us look bad in Baltimore, man. But, and when they come back home, it's like, man, I don't care about him. Because we had the chance to do right, they didn't do right.
They
you know that too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people in Baltimore that had a chance to do right by us, man, and they didn't, man.
And not even doing right by us is doing right by us. It's like doing right by yourself is just enough.
Right.
You feel me? To know that you putting on for
that's it, man. Make us proud, man. But you're making me proud.
Yeah.
I know your mom, is proud. Your children, man, they look at they know, that what you're doing is what you're doing. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because some people was forced into a lifestyle because my father did that, you know what I'm saying, or my brother did that. I got to, and I don't think that's your story, you know what I'm saying, and I think for me, man, both of us got a lot in common. My father wasn't in my life, till he passed away, and but through that I got some siblings that I love to death, but I think you turned out to be who you were supposed to be, man, and I'm proud of that, man. You know what I'm saying? I think, man, when it's all said and done, man, you're going to get that plaque, the one that start with a G, and then that speech, you know what I'm saying? I think that, and again, I don't know, you seem excited about this project, man, but, they said something the other day that...
It's my second independent.
See, that's what I'm saying, man.
It's my second independent project
man.
Right here, man.
They said the other day, this is the first time in I don't know how many years that no rapper was in the first top 40 or something like that, right?
Yeah, right. YB.
And see, and I don't put you in that rappers category because to me you seem like you just such a.
He's a good nigga though.
No, I'm talking about you. I don't put you in that just a rapper. You like to me like you like a serial artist. Like you just like you can do rap, you can sing, like you know what I'm saying, like and you named a few people that did both before too, man. But I'm just glad that you true to yourself, man. So again, man, before we end, I thank you. I appreciate you. From people who are not present, man, that you lost, I think you're making them proud. I hope man, that, everything that you could have done, or should have done, to change, the conditions of your life, you did it. And I'm just super proud, man, because, there are people who laughed at you. They ain't laughing now. And, they owe you an apology, man. So I want to be the first to tell you, man, thank you for being true to yourself, man. I wish you the best, man.
Thank you,
I got it. Yeah, wonderful, man. You very intelligent, man. You know what I mean? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I promise you, man, that's why you got to get to know people, man, because if you don't, everybody has a stigma attached to someone without